YouTubers, what's going on? It's your favorite apologist back, the atheist killer, man, with another video, with another pet. I went over it. I honestly couldn't tell if he was a man or a woman. I mean, the dude had man boobs. He had on a tight t-shirt, but he had titties, man. Just that, he talks like a female. Not just that, he needs to do a few to get on a treadmill somewhere. Somebody needs to get this guy a workout routine, some type of regimen before he clutches his chest. Anyway, none of that really matters. So let's get right into this because I don't want to bore you with no side stories about this girl. Let's get right into this. Before we even started, he said he would not be claiming that he had a third option. But when we started the debate, he claimed that P2, he claimed premise 2 was a false dichotomy. Really? I told him if he makes that claim, then the burden of proof is on him to provide a third option. And if he did not provide one, that he would only be asserting premise 2 as a false dichotomy, but not actually proving it is one. Think about it, brother. Come on, man. I'm a football player. I'm outsmarting you this easily? So this frustrated him, or her, or whatever. It frustrated him because that was his main game plan. And he quickly realized it wasn't going to work, and that his strategy was not going to be able to defeat the argument or premise number 2. So I continued to send this logic to him about 3 or 4 times in the chat room. Finally, he agreed. Finally, he got it into his head, I guess. And he averted from his plan. And he said, okay, I guess I will attempt to provide a third option at all. I will attempt to provide you with a third option after all. He wanted to make the point. I don't believe in this third option, but I'm going to try to provide you with one. Oh, I said, okay, go ahead, pal. So he tried and tried his very best to debunk premise 2 for about 45 minutes. I don't know if it was 45 minutes. It seemed like 45 minutes. It could have been longer. It was crazy. And he tried to prove that he had a third option. After he could not, he gave up. And he granted that premise number 2 is actually true. He granted premise 2 is actually true. He gave up on trying to provide a third option. Hold on one second. Let me scroll this down a little bit. So, after he conceded this loss on premise number 2, he decided that he wanted to try to make a stand or take a stand against premise number 1 of my argument. Okay. He asked me to prove that STE was irrational and illogical because he did not think it was. Really? All right. Cool. I've heard this before. He claimed if you have universes that all come into existence simultaneously, then there is no issue with infinite regress. So I asked him, these universes that you speak of, where do they come from? He replied, they are cyclical. They create each other, with the last one creating the first. I replied that logically that is not possible for them all to come into existence simultaneously and also create each other one after another. But I knew instead of trying to pound this into his head, I would just take another route that would get us to the end much faster. Save us all some time here. So how did I do this? I asked him a simple question. This is what I asked him. Did all of these universes that you speak of begin to exist? Did they begin to exist? Or is there something that is eternal? His reply was, both. So I said, okay, great. Tell me which part is eternal. He said, the cycle was eternal. The cycle was eternal. I said this. This is what I said back to him. If the cycle is eternal, that means you have an unlimited amount of time in the past eternity, as defined in the Elliott argument, for us to have come into being. And if you have an unlimited amount of time in the past eternity for us to have come into being, that, my friend, it would have already happened. I explained that if there is no starting point, that we never get our turn. And that's why STE is irrational and illogical. So what happened next? He would not address this. He already lost out earlier on trying to debunk premise number 2. Now he knew he was losing out on trying to debunk premise number 1. So he would not address this. And after I made the statement, you know what he did? He ran away. He didn't say anything about it. He ran away and he quit the whole debate. He ran away and quit. So the conclusion was, of this debate, he couldn't debunk premise 1 or premise 2. And therefore, the Elliott argument stands once again. Once again. It's too easy, man. This is getting too easy for me now, man. So the Elliott argument is still undefeated. Please, who's next? Send them to me, man. Send them to the Atheist Killer. This argument is about to get really big because, seriously, no one can beat it. So it's just getting funny. But if you have somebody that you think could defeat it, please send them to me. So what was this dude's name again? The girl, whoever, with the man boobs? Satanisgod666, whatever. You're now my pet, and you live in my zoo. My zoo's going to be filled up, and you have other friends to play with in there. I love y'all, man. Chad Elliott, the Atheist Killer. I'm out. Peace.